The chime of the 5 million unit score had acted like a physical blow, simultaneously shocking Lyra and fracturing the impenetrable aura surrounding Varen. Lyra felt a dizzying surge of pure elation, quickly followed by the grounding force of terror. The vast sum, $5,050,000, glittered mockingly in the air, a burden now heavier than any reward. It was a target painted squarely on her back. She wasn't a celebrity hunter. She was a history professor from a place Varen wouldn't bother to locate on a map. Her motivation wasn't ego, but a desperate, pragmatic need. Her small institute's archival library, hundreds of years of local records, fragile maps, and crumbling personal diaries, was decaying faster than the fundraising efforts could save it. The entire prize, if she could defend it, would fund the complete digitization and preservation of those invaluable archives. "This is not for me," she whispered internally, a mantra. "This is for the paper." She watched Varen compose himself. The momentary spasm of his eyelid had been a gift, a flash of recognition that she had successfully disrupted his cold equilibrium. He had used the word acquisition, not victory, in his forced commentary, trying to reduce her success to a transactional anomaly. But Lyra knew she had shaken him. He saw a professor. He did not see the zealot protecting forgotten stories. Kira, the host, leaned into her microphone, her movements sleek and predatory. "Lyra, you are now entering the final helix with a lead that defies all pinnacle precedent. Varen has 180 seconds to reduce your banked total to zero by answering a sequence of questions designed to test global knowledge and intellectual endurance. Varen, are you ready to engage the helix?" "Always," Varen clipped, adjusting the link on his cuff. The glass floor Lyra stood on suddenly intensified its glow to an alarming, vibrant red, indicating the live target zone. Above Varen, a 3-minute timer, stark white against a black background, dropped into view. The silence returned, absolute and crushing. This was the phase Varen was built for. His knowledge base was wide, almost inhumanly so, covering everything from quantum physics to obscure 18th century fashion trends. Lyra's strategy for this round was singular. Rely on her deepest expertise, niche historical chronology, and the subtle nuances of forgotten languages, hoping that Varen's generalist algorithm had weak spots where the historical record overlapped with the abstract sciences. The first question appeared on Varen's console, projected silently for Lyra to see. It was a dense piece of text describing an event in the early 19th century involving territorial disputes and the construction of a coastal fort. Varen is trained to spot the generalized answer, the treaty name, the major geopolitical player, Lyra thought, her heart hammering against her ribs. Varen began to speak, his voice a drone of rapid-fire data points. The 1815 Coastal Defense Accord negotiated by... No, wait. For the first time in memory, Varen paused mid-sentence. He had identified the general era and the major conflict, but the specific minor fort's name was eluding his immediate recall. He was running up against the edges of his own vast but standardized dataset. The seconds ticked down mercilessly on the 180-second clock. Lyra took her own breath, a small, triumphant smile playing on her lips. She recognized the fort, not from a treaty text, but from a series of digitized handwritten land deeds from a small-town archive in Massachusetts, the very archive she was fighting for. She knew the name of the mason, the type of stone used, and the month the work was halted due to poor weather. She had found her opening. She leaned toward her own microphone, her gentle voice cutting cleanly through Varen's stifled hesitation. She used the override button, her finger shaking slightly, signaling a potential steal of the points. The fort's common name was Fort Aegis, Lyra stated clearly, before Varen could correct his course. But the official 1815 decree referred to it as the North Battery Annex, constructed using schist sourced from the Weymouth Quarry. The system chimed a positive confirmation. Lyra had stolen the question, and more importantly, she had visibly flustered the architect again, cutting almost 10 precious seconds off his clock and forcing him to start the helix from a position of renewed uncertainty. The game had truly begun.